I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book that I'm working on. In experiencing a nervous system activation, we are taken out of the now as our nervous system is responding to something it deems as being unsafe. Nervous systems are designed to do an excellent job of keeping us safe and tend to err on the side of caution. Similarly, nervous system activation is not particularly interested in what our logical mind has to say about what we are currently experiencing. It's simply interested in one job, which is keeping us safe and surviving. One of the more challenging experiences people encounter when they first begin healing their nervous systems is the realization that they will have to keep themselves safe in ways that they were taught not to keep themselves safe, from people that they were taught to trust implicitly. Okay, so that's where the implicit trauma comes from. So one of the first steps to take is to understand and accept that not everyone else out there is a safe human capable of good. It's just a basic thing that is very difficult for a lot of people to accept. So in order to keep ourselves safe, we must be able to recognize dangerous individuals and set healthy boundaries. And sometimes that's really hard to do, because if we've grown up in a situation where we were taught it's not safe to set healthy boundaries, that, this is your family and they can do whatever they want and you don't get to say no, and it's your fault if you bring that to other people's attention, well then we've got a lot of trauma surrounding setting healthy boundaries and believing that we're good when we set healthy boundaries, right? So that would be the nervous system activation connected to that. So we must be able to recognize our own boundaries, and often we must heal a nervous system that was trained to feel deeply unsafe when setting and holding healthy boundaries. Okay, and so then I have a little step-by-step practice that I'm going to go ahead and run through as well. First of all, what we do is we recognize the pattern or patterns we're experiencing. So pattern recognition. This is a pattern. What is the pattern? This is how to heal your nervous system. What is the pattern? What is the pattern internally for me? Sometimes this takes a little research, this takes a little practice, this takes a little discussion. Sometimes it takes a lot of practice and discussion, and that's totally normal and okay. So what is that pattern? We want to recognize that we're being activated. And then we want to remind ourselves, this is an adaptive pattern I learned in childhood to keep myself safe. So that's the implicit trauma. It was useful then, but it's no longer useful now or required. So yeah, you want to check your surroundings, obviously, make sure you're safe in that moment, right? Which is something that I always remind people of. But in general, usually when you stop and look around when you're feeling activated, you are safe. So you can identify right then, okay, I'm reacting to something else. I'm reacting to something that already happened. I'm reacting to a different time, a different experience. It's maybe child me being activated. It's some unresolved pattern. Okay, so the first thing is to just become conscious and aware of that, and then say, okay, this is what it feels like when my nervous system is activated. This is what it feels like, and you might notice my heart's racing. You might notice that you're holding your breath, that you're only breathing into the top of your chest instead of your belly. You might notice that you've been clenching your jaw. You might notice all sorts of things. And so go ahead and, notice what that feels like in your body. And then remind yourself, okay, this is a pattern. I'm having a nervous system activation. And since I'm safe now, that means that it's not in response to what I'm experiencing in this moment. And from there, you can bring it up into your conscious mind and you can start working with that in order to reprogram. We've got neuroplasticity, which means that we can actually change the way that we respond to these types of activations. But first, we have to be conscious that we're having them. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks.